Hello guys, I'm Yuri Zastavny and I'm the co-owner of Pravda brewery. Let me introduce you to this brewery and to Lviv. We set up 8 years ago here in Lviv, which is the biggest city in western Ukraine. And we set up with two goals. First is to introduce to the Ukrainian audience the diversity and the richness of the world beer culture. Because before it was more or less like blonde beer and dark beer and maybe occasionally blanche beer. And we wanted to show that there is much more to that. You can have barrel beer, you can have fruit beers, you can have vegetables, you can have anything you want if you allow yourself to be creative. Another role for ourselves that we saw was to introduce the richness of Ukrainian nature to the customers and to the audience outside of Ukraine. Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe by size, which is fully in Europe, and this botanical diversity gives us a lot of spices, a lot of fruits, berries, vegetables, and we can, of course, as modern brewers, we can combine all of that or part of that in our creations. Over our shorter history, which is like 8 years now, we created over 300 recipes, ranging from very simple beers, including German or Czech style lagers, to foreign stouts, to barley wines, to even barrel-aged beers. And we, at this moment, we have just behind my back, there is the brewery, and there is a secret room there with 63 wooden barrels, with beers actually maturing, both maturing and fermenting in those barrels. And we're going to expand that program. We covered a lot of local ingredients such as buckwheat, thyme and cherries, different cherries, strawberries, whatnot, you name it, and we probably used it in our beers. We started in the center of Lviv, which is the most touristic place in Ukraine, not now because of war, but it used to be, and I hope it will be in the near future. We started as a brew pub in the city center, and 3 years after this we felt that we have overgrown that location, although it's a big place with about 700 seats, and we decided to make a difficult decision to fully move out and open our production in another location where we are now. Coincidentally, this is a former glass factory, and coincidentally this is also the location where we make one of probably Ukraine's biggest craft beer and vinyl music festivals, which hosts about 20,000 people on a long weekend. I'd like to welcome you to Lviv whenever we win this war. This is a beautiful city, and I welcome you to try our beers, and we will not stop developing new recipes and being more and more creative with what we can do, without, of course, forgetting the base, quality of the base beers. That's what we value in the first place. Thank you.
Hello, hello Norway. My name is Andriy. I'm the export manager with Pravda Brewery in Lviv, Ukraine. You know, before the conflict, our brewery was growing. Although we had ambitions to export and we had some exports, it was not a big part of our business plan, we'll say. Since 2014, when we opened, our production has quadrupled and was increasing, even during COVID. When the war started and the missiles, we woke up on February 24th to the strikes of missiles on our homes, everything changed. Our first reaction was not to worry about brewing. Our first reaction was to see what we can do, because in any coming day, we expected Russian soldiers to be here in Lviv. So we switched from beer production to Molotov cocktail production. So we did that, we prepared. We actually have quite a few of them still in our warehouse, but we had a warehouse full of Molotov cocktails. We were studying urban defense on how to attack tanks with Molotov cocktails as civilians. Once we saw that the Russians were failing, we're not going to come to Lviv anytime soon, we created a project called Brew for Ukraine. Brew for Ukraine was a project that basically we opened all of our recipes and our labels to the rest of the world for breweries. We didn't know how many breweries would be involved, but any breweries that wanted to brew our beer, like Putin Huilo and other beers, they were free to do so, as long as some proceeds come to the effort in Ukraine. And we were using that as a fundraiser. We were really shocked with the amount of breweries that participated, which was over 300 breweries worldwide took part in this project, brewed our beer in their own breweries and with our labels and their brewery labels as well. So we knew that there is something out there. There is a demand for our beer because those breweries sold out, actually. Now we have to look at our future, and our future unfortunately involves a lot more export than we were wanting at the beginning, because our internal market, really, we could not keep up with our internal market at the beginning of the war. Now a lot of doors have been closed and we don't know when those doors will be opened again. We are looking for new markets, new avenues for our fantastic beer, high quality production that we brew. We have exported to a few markets already in Europe, and actually as far as Japan already. And we are looking to increase that export to Norway and other Northern European countries. Really, I would like you to support us in every way you can. We are trying to fight our fight, help us do that. Economically, we need to survive as well. We need to fight on all the fronts. That includes at the front and on the economic front, and every single person that is in Ukraine is contributing in some way or another. And that's why they are here. That's why they did not leave. That's why we are all here and fighting. There was a concept of fight or flight, and I believe that I've never seen the fight so much like I did in the opening hours of the war in Ukraine. Thank you so much for your support. Slava Ukraini!